understanding of issues.
Hello, good evening. It's 5 p.m. Welcome to 505. Coming up tonight, Member of Parliament for Fwasa Yebi Kojo Nkrumah hints of seeking a review at the Supreme Court after the Apex Court dismissed his vacation trial injunction application.
In the ruling, some very interesting pronouncements have been made. For the first time, the courts have admitted that some cases are being treated differently.
His lawyer, Frank Davis, says they accept the ruling for now.
You come to court with an anticipatory mind. When you have an injunction application, whatever application you have before the court, is either will be refused or it will be granted. So yes, the judge has made a determination.
Meanwhile, the substantive suit challenging the Chief Justice's warrant remains pending. More on that shortly. Also coming up, Ghana Forces denies reports it is probing former Chief of Defence Staff Thomas Opon Pepra. Also tonight, Interior Minister directs the police service to clamp down on vigilantism.
Political parties, individuals, and some organizations building forces for self-protection. The Vigilantism and Related Offences Act 2019 Act 999 is clear on this matter.
And later tonight, we'll take you to up north where farmers in Bogotanga complain of inadequate water for dry season farming.
So it would be advisable that they just come and take their cooler, then maybe carry the tank in addition and go. So that we, the people of the mill, will just know that, oh, nothing was given to us. Rather than they giving out propaganda that they drilled a borehole for farmers in the mill, which is not actually true.
These and more coming up shortly. We're coming to you live from our studios here. Digital address 004235998. Not Laboni, third day work on Class 91.3 FM in Accra. We also live on Who FM 92.5, Hills 91.7 at Daklu, both in the Volta region. Max Empire 96.9 at Bazwa in the Upper East region. Dagbon FM 102.5 in Tamale Radio Power 96 in Spain. We're live on Facebook. Connect with us or join us with your thoughts, comments, and contributions with the hashtag 505. Alternatively, through our WhatsApp number 0500,000 202. My name is Kwame Okyere Jnr. It's time. It's 505. Welcome. 505 is always brought to you by MTN everywhere you go. Now to our first story. Fwasa Yebi Member of Parliament Kojo Nkrumah has hinted at seeking a review at the Supreme Court's decision dismissing his application to hold selected criminal trials during the legal vacation. Justice Gabriel Poman, sitting as a single judge of the Supreme Court, dismissed Mr. Nkrumah's interlocutory injunction application today, Friday, August 21. The application sought to stop selected criminal trials from proceeding during the legal vacation, which runs from August 1 to September 30. The dismissal means the affected trials can continue while the substantive suit challenging the constitutionality of the Chief Justice's administrative warrant remains pending. Mr. Nkrumah said the court made what he described as very interesting pronouncements in its ruling, including an observation that some cases had been treated differently during the legal vacation. Before we hear from him, here is what transpired or what happened in court today, as put together by court correspondent Mame Abba Brew.
The Supreme Court has dismissed an application of an interlocutory injunction filed by Ofuansi Eyurebi MP, Kojo Opon Nkrumah, seeking to restrain the Chief Justice from issuing warrants allowing selected High Court judges to conduct criminal trials during the legal vacation. The ruling means the Chief Justice's warrants allowing the affected judges to sit and hear cases during the legal vacation remains in force. Now, Justice Scott Poorman, in delivering the ruling, held that although the Supreme Court has jurisdiction to injunct an act of a public officer, an applicant must first demonstrate that the substantive case has a strong likelihood of success before the court can consider the other grounds of an injunction. On Opon Nkrumah's reliance on Article 17 of the 1992 Constitution, the court found no evidence to establish that the Chief Justice's directive was discriminatory. The court noted that the warrants on their face require the judges to conduct cases pending before their respective courts, and there was no allegation or evidence that the warrant was influenced by the color, gender, or religion of the accused persons or the witnesses. The court also rejected the argument that the Chief Justice's exercise of discretion in directing judges to sit during the legal vacation amounted to discrimination. The court further held that the applicant's reliance on CI-47 was misplaced, as the instruments operate in respect of civil proceedings while the present application concerns criminal cases. And so as it stands now, all the oral cases pending before the Accra High Court continues from next week.
So that's a report put together by court correspondent Kwame Ababrio while speaking to journalists after today's proceedings. Kojo Oponkroma said the legal team would first study the certified true copy of the ruling before deciding on the next course of action.
The court has dismissed our injunction application, but in the ruling, some very interesting pronouncements have been made. For the first time, the courts have admitted that some cases are being treated differently. Those are the words of the judge.
And expeditious.
They are being treated differently and expeditiously. Why? He doesn't say so. But then he proceeds to say that in his opinion, that will not amount to a violation of the constitutional articles that we have raised in this particular matter, and that he thinks that that will even be in the interest of the accused persons. We've asked for a certified copy so that we can peruse it some more, and then on the advice of counsel, we'll take the next steps.
It means that you are open to applying for review?
Very much so, but we'll consider it. I'll leave it to Counsel Frank. I'll leave it to Counsel Frank to make a few comments.
So that's the Member of Parliament for Fuasarayebi, Kojo Oponkroma, speaking to journalists after the proceedings, while his lawyer, Frank Davies, also told journalists the legal team accepted the court's decision and would study the full written ruling before advising their client.
Of the court. When you come to court with an anticipatory mind. When you have an injunction application, whatever application you have before the court, is either will be refused or will be granted. So yes, the judge has made a determination. It is not in our place as lawyers to condemn the judge. We can only critique. The plaintiff has told you in very short terms his understanding of what happened in the courtroom. So we will abide the ruling of the court for now. We are not given to say the things other lawyers say when decisions of the court are handed and doesn't go in their favor. We will not repeat those chants because they don't sit in our usual lexicon as lawyers. So yes, we accept the ruling of the court for now. We have applied for a certified true copy of the ruling, which the registrar has promised so to do. But I insisted that we have the ruling by 2 p.m. So we shall apply for, when the ruling is handed to us, we shall read in detail the reason ruling and appropriately advise our client.
So that's Frank Davies, who is a counsel for the Member of Parliament for Fuasarayebi Kojo Oponkroma. Well, the Interior Minister Muntaka Mubarak has directed the Ghana Police Service to intensify efforts to combat vigilantism and prevent individuals and groups from establishing unauthorized security outfits. According to him, the emergence of self-styled protection groups formed a political party, traditional leaders, individuals and other organizations poses a threat to Ghana's peace and security. Speaking at the opening of the Regional Commanders Conference at the police headquarters here in Accra, the minister urged the Ghana Police commanders to act decisively against such groups. The minister stressed that only security agencies duly established and authorized by the state should be permitted to provide such protection. He therefore tasked the police service to identify and prosecute persons involved in forming or operating illegal groups. Take a listen.
We observe with concern a new trend of chiefs, political parties, individuals, and some organizations building forces for self-protection. The Vigilantism and Related Offences Act 2019, Act 999, is clear on this matter. These are illegal and should not be tolerated. There should be no forces for protection of any person or group except those authorized by the state. I therefore charge you and your commanders to nip this in the bud and bring perpetrators to book.
So that's the Interior Minister Muntaka Mubarak. Well, the sector minister also ordered security service commanders to stop the unauthorized recording and circulation of videos and other content showing recruits undergoing training.
I'm equally concerned about the growing parties of officers and trainers in our training schools allowing videos and other content of recruits undergoing training to be recorded and shared on social media. This practice must stop. I therefore direct all service commanders to ensure that appropriate controls are put in place to prevent the unauthorized recording, publication, and circulation of images or videos of recruits in training.
You heard Interior Minister Muntaka Mubarak. The Ghana Armed Forces has dismissed a report claiming that former Chief of Defence Staff General Thomas Opon Pepra is under investigation for alleged infractions. In a press release issued by the Department of Public Relations at the General Headquarters, Bema Campi in Accra, the Ghana Armed Forces described the report as false and groundless. According to a statement, the attention of the Ghana Armed Forces was drawn to what it described as a malicious news item alleging that General Opon Pepra, who is currently Ghana's Deputy High Commissioner to Canada, was being probed by the military. The armed forces therefore urged the public, particularly well-meaning citizens, to disregard the reports and desist from spreading what it described as misinformation. The Minister for Roads and Highways, Governors Kwame Okyere Jnr, has issued a strict 2-month ultimatum to contractors on the Kumasi Inner Ring Road project, demanding an immediate scale-up of equipment and manpower after work reached only 7% completion, despite consuming nearly 20% of the allotted contract time. During a site inspection of the 47-kilometer infrastructure project, the minister expressed disappointment over low site mobilization and warned that the current pace would require triple the contract duration, a delay the government refuses to grant. Addressing site engineers, Kwame Okyere Jnr emphasized that initial delays surrounding contractor compensation and land access must be offset immediately through accelerated operations.
The leadership we are providing in the region together with our MMDC, but most importantly, we appreciate the leadership of our father, His Royal Majesty Otumfuo himself, who is has been our source of inspiration and advice as to how to get this project done on schedule. This is the vision of President Mahama. To make sure that every region gets their fair share of his infrastructure master plan, the big push. This road, when completed, would significantly transform how we move around Kumasi. Today, we see palm trees and tall trees. I am sure in 10 years, if you stand at the same place, you will be completely lost as to whether this is where we were standing a few years ago. Yes. It is quite difficult. We have lost a lot of time for various reasons. Initially, even about compensation of the contractor having access to the site. As it stands now, they've done only 7% of the work. But as I've always said, when time is lost, it is the responsibility of the contractor to catch up with it. We don't have excess time anywhere to allocate to you. Fortunately for you, you are working within a regime where you can work 24 hours. So the lost time is not going to be plus the contract period. It has to be, that time actually exists now. You can work 3 shifts to be able to catch up. You can crash course many of the programs. As I said, the investment in the plant and equipment and personnel, very good quality work. So we want to see your competitive advantage. What makes you different from other contractors here? Speed, quality is what President Mahama demands of you. So in 2 months' time, we'll be back here, and we should see you getting close to catching up with the lost time.
Well, so that's the Minister for Roads and Highways there, Governs Kwame Okyere Jnr. For his part, the Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amakohene, explained the components of the Kumasi Inner Ring Road project.
It's under corner, to be specific. And last visit, Minister, we visited the campsite, which is not too far from here. I think somewhere last June, around the last month, I came here together with the Municipal Assembly, and we hadn't seen much. So we want to commend the contractor for speeding up work within the past few weeks. And as you could see, it's linking many more communities that I can think of. It's cutting across almost 5 different municipal assemblies. And it's also going to help us with transportation around this corridor. So anyone coming from the highway or the expressway can bypass the central business area without having to go and add to the traffic in town. So I want to appreciate the connectivity and the work you are doing for the region and the country at large. Just within this same enclave, around the central enclave, they are connecting Agogo to Mame Krobo, which is within the eastern region. So what it also means is that if you are going to the eastern region and you have no business within Nkoko and among others, you can equally connect through Agogo to Mosipeni to Mame Krobo. So I want to appreciate the work that you are doing with regards to the road connectivity over here. Beyond that, the town roads are also ongoing. Agogo town road is ongoing, among others.
So that's the Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amakohene. Well, Ghana may be missing out on a valuable pool of experienced professionals as a new study finds that only about 1 in 5 pensioners surveyed remained professionally active despite strong interest in continuing to work. There is more in this following report.
A new study is highlighting a major gap between the willingness of Ghanaian pensioners to work and the opportunities available to them, with 69% saying they are willing to remain professionally active beyond retirement. The study by the Center for Retired Experts surveyed 559 pensioners across Ghana in February 2026 to assess their willingness, motivation, and capacity to remain engaged in productive activities after retirement. A core researcher, Dr. Adam Salifu, a lecturer at the University of Professional Studies, Accra, says the findings point to a major gap between the willingness of retirees to contribute and the system available to connect them with opportunities. According to him, nearly all pensioners surveyed are willing to mentor younger professionals, while 88% are prepared to survey as advisors or board members. However, 93% say they are unaware of any existing platform through which they can offer their skill and experience. The study also found that 98% of respondents would be willing to register on a structured platform that connects retired professionals to opportunities. About 86% disagreed with the assertion that they had become less unuseful to society after retirement, while 87% continued to consider themselves useful to national development. Meanwhile, 97% agree that there is a gap between the potential of retirees and the system to engage. Meanwhile, 97% agree that there is a gap between the potential of retirees and the system available to engage them productively. More than half of those surveyed also favored extending the mandatory retirement age to 65 or beyond. The researchers are therefore calling for systems that can connect unretired professionals with institutes and sectors that could benefit from their expertise. The study is also expected to contribute to the discussion on how retirement can be redefined as a transition into continued mentorship, leadership, and national development rather than simply the end of formal employment.
So that's it there. But let me take you up north because farmers in Bolgatanga Municipal are complaining about 2 mechanized borehole irrigation projects that have failed to provide enough water for dry season farming. The projects were constructed at a combined cost of about 201,600 Ghana cedis under the World Bank funded Soko initiative. Farmers say the water output is too low and in some cases cannot reach their farmlands, leaving them dependent on other sources of water. Our reporter Moses Appiah has been following this development and came through with this.
So looking at it, it doesn't serve the purpose it's meant to serve. So it would be advisable that they just come and take their cooler, then maybe carry the tank in addition and go. So that we, the people of the mill, will just know that, oh, nothing was given to us. Rather than they giving out propaganda that they drilled a borehole for farmers in the mill, which is not actually true. But we can't use it. And another thing too is that they should either look at those, the contractor involved, they should rather look at them and let them to pay the money back. But you can't just come and waste government money without what? The people benefited from it.
That is George Akulugu, a farmer in the Ngweo community in the Bolgatanga municipality of the Upper East region. George, in his late 30s, is a dry season farmer and has been farming in the Ngweo Valley for over 12 years. Vegetables such as onion, tomatoes, lettuce are his priorities, yet his enemy has always been one thing: water, especially in the dry season, and the solution became his nightmare. At a glance, what seems to be a relief from such a nightmare became what he described as trauma that no farmer at his age will ever wish to experience. The over 200,000 Ghana cedis mechanized borehole drilled to support George and his fellow farmers at the Ngweo Valley is wasting away.
At least they even promised that the facility could serve at least 20 farmers. But looking at the facility, one at a go. Yes, 20 farmers at a go. But when they came and they started working on it, we realized that it couldn't even serve one. So we protested. So during the protest, they finally said, okay, why don't they bring this particular tank here? First, they brought the smaller tank up there, and they now brought this one. So when they brought this one and they came and they did their work and finished, just to pump the water into this tank alone, it took them more than 9 hours. Yet still, the tank wasn't full. And it got to a time that what was not coming out was dirt instead of water. So that has made us not be able to use the borehole.
So imagine this initiative was working perfectly. Share with me the benefit that it would have brought to you farmers.
Yes, if this initiative was working perfectly, as you can see, there are just vast lands all over here. And mostly here what we cultivate is tomatoes, pepper and onions. So if this particular project was working perfectly, I think it would have encouraged most of the youth who are sitting in the houses to join in the farming.
George, the project executed by the Bolgatanga Municipal Assembly in 2024 was part of the 150 million World Bank Gulf of Guinea Northern Region Social Cohesion, SOCO. James Alangama, a farmer in Ngweo.
Even from the start of the contract, We, the farmers, immediately realized that the project was not going to serve our purpose. We raised our concerns, but construction continued. Even the commissioning ceremony was proof of the system's limitations. We waited between 8 and 9 hours just to fill the 350-liter tank. So imagine 30 to 40 farmers depend on that. How can they support our commercial farming?
The Bolgatanga Municipal Assembly in 2023-2024 understood the sheer needs of the farmers, and through the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, constructed 2 mechanized boreholes in Dangwio and Amogbisi community in Sumbrungo, with one purpose: to provide reliable water for farmers. But that reality is yet to be actualized. For Ernest, a 45-year-old farmer in Amogbisi community,
we used to cultivate rice on this land during rainy season, but now it lies idle because the project is not giving us the water we need for dry season farming. The assembly should come and remove their project so we can use our land again.
Afedu Asori, who has cultivated vegetables in the Amogbisi Valley for 15 years,
Had they even involved us during planning, we would have also suggested ideas that would make it work better. They only informed us that they were bringing Soko irrigation project. If this project had worked as we were told, it would have helped many of us escape poverty and even pay our children's school fees. But nobody consulted us.
Interestingly, our source documents from the Assembly, the Ministry of Local Government, and on the grounds are all carrying different stories. Documents from the Bolgatanga Municipal Assembly say
go day, say a party, mini me a chomo, crunchy, chilling with friends, mini me a chomo, tasty, take chuck your hunger, mini me a chomo, crunchy, break time please, mini me a chomo, tasty, mini me a chomo, mini me a chomo, mini me a chomo, come and taste the fun, mini me a chomo, mini me a chomo, mini me a chomo, come and taste the fun. For the laughter, mini mini, mini me a chomo. All the parties, mini mini, mini me a chomo. Let's go dancing, mini mini, mini me a chomo. Taste the fun, mini mini, mini me a chomo.
This advert is FDA approved.
Bro driver, can I send Momo to your personal number?
Oh, sister, Debio, just scan my GHQR code or send to my merchant ID.
Oh, okay.
Nice one. Customer. And thank you for the 5 stars too.
Of course. You've given me good service and an even simpler way to pay. I like your movement, pan.
Online drivers and Pragear drivers. Every fare you collect with Momo moves you up the leaderboard and closer to amazing prizes. Walk into any MTN branch with your Ghana card and sign up to become a Momo merchant driver today. Ride all the way with Momo. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, this is 505 here on Class 91.3 FM in Accra, across the country and across the world on classfmonline.com. Well, let me share good news with MTN at 30 promo. As here, well, of course, you want to sometimes big moments start with small things. A call to a loved one, a Momo transaction to support family, a bundle to grow your business. But what if it could lead to something bigger than you ever imagined? MTN at 30 promo, every call, every transaction, home fiber, every connection. lead to amazing rewards, including 9 Toyota brand new Land Cruisers. Just dial *530# MTN at 30 promo. Make every move counts. It's time for business, and Najima Prempe is here to bring you business today, the Friday edition on 505 on Class 91.3.
In business, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, says the success of Ghana's investment drive should not be measured only by the value of investment announced. According to him, investments must translate into new industries, modern technologies, productive infrastructure, increased export, and sustainable jobs. Speaking at the launch of the 2025 Annual Investment Report here in Accra, Dr. Isiama said Ghana recorded about $2.61 billion in investment commitment across 203 projects.
Parts of the world, Ghana continues to attract meaningful investor interest. During 2025, Ghana recorded new investors valued at approximately $2.61 billion across 253 projects. This is a strong indicator. This is a strong indication that investors continue to see the opportunities that exist within our economy. Equally important is the quality and nature. The task before us is to translate investment commitments into tangible outcomes, new industries, modern technology, productive infrastructure, increased exports, and sustainable jobs. Ultimately, our success will not be measured by the value of investments that are announced, but by the extent to which they improve productivity, expand employment opportunities, raise incomes, and enhance the standard of living of the Ghanaian people. At the same time, one of the most compelling opportunities for accelerating this transformation.
So that was the governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Johnson Isiama. On the international front, a shortage of aviation fuel at Namibia's main international airport has forced Lufthansa-owned Discover Airlines to reroute some Europe-bound flights through neighboring Angola, exposing vulnerabilities in the country's fuel import system at a time when international air connectivity is expanding. The disruption followed the rejection of an imported fuel shipment delivered through Walvis Bay after a failed routine quality test. That's according to Discover Airlines. Vivo Energy Namibia and Namibia Airports Company announced the affected fuel was quarantined before entering the distribution network. Discover Airlines said aircraft traveling from Windhoek to Frankfurt and Munich were being routed through Angola to take on fuel before continuing to Europe. One flight was also affected on Wednesday and another on Thursday, while no widespread cancellation had been announced as of August 20, 2026. And that's it for business. Back to you, KOJ.
Thank you, Nanajima Prempe, for bringing us business. For more news, log on to classfmline.com. That's our wrap up 505. I leave you in the hands of Mr. Malto. We'll do the same time on Monday. Good evening.
Bringing you the best in television content and programming on CTV. Ghana's #1, 24/7.